Okay guys, now I want to talk about a problem with the compatibility feature in eBay Motors, and what better place to discuss it than in a car dealership. The problem is, there are some buyers that are disregarding the compatibility feature and the notes of the seller as to what these parts fit and what they don't fit. These buyers are going ahead and they're entering vehicle information that is directly in conflict with the information I have entered, and they're buying wrong parts. Let me show you an example of this right now. We got to go to screenshots, and I think you'll understand a little better. Okay guys, take a look at the screenshot. You can clearly see that the item that I am selling specifically says it fits 1989 to 1996 Buick Cadillac DeVille wire spoke hubcaps, the key being 1989 to 1996. But now look at the top arrow, and you can see that the buyer has entered in his vehicle information as 2002 Buick LeSabre Custom. There is no way in hell that these are going to fit a 2002 Buick. It's physically impossible. Okay? Now, there are two possibilities. Number one, this guy's really old school and he thinks they're going to fit and he thinks he can make them fit, which is not the case. Or number two, perhaps he has two cars and he recently bought parts for the 2002 Buick and didn't bother changing his vehicle when he made this purchase. But I don't think that's the case, because you can clearly see he has zero feedback. So I'm thinking that he's one of these old school guys that's going to try and make these fit, possibly damage them, but almost definitely send them back, possibly not as described or defective. So guys, I hope you can understand why that can be a little bit frustrating to somebody selling an eBay Motors. In the case that I just showed you, I wrote to the buyer, as I said, and I told him that these parts will never fit a 2002 Buick. I had hoped he would get back to me. He never wrote back to me. Maybe because he has zero feedback and doesn't check his account, but I had to go ahead and send him those parts anyway. I had no choice in it.
Thank you so much. Please.
Are they going to come back? I would say they probably are, because I can guarantee you 100% that those parts will never fit a 2002 Buick. You clearly saw where I said 1989 to 1996 vehicles only. So yeah. Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, November 17th, 2023. Welcome to another eBay video. I hope you liked the unorthodox introduction where I started the video from the new car dealer. I figured I'd do something a little different this week, and I hope you noticed that that video was filmed on our one sunny day of the week. That was earlier this week. Today is Friday, and I'm running extremely late. For only the second time in my YouTube career, I forgot today was Friday and I had to put out a video. Take a look at the time right now. 4:55 p.m. See it? So yeah, I'm running real late. First of all, a shout out and congratulations of sorts to Daniel Scales, who was the winner of the eBay gift card from last week's video. He had the highest return percentage rate of anybody, over 11%, and he sent me the screenshots to prove it. And Daniel, I will get the gift code off to you real soon, hopefully tonight. I looked at everybody else's return percentage, and not surprisingly, almost every single person with a high return percentage was selling in eBay Motors. The only person I noticed that had a high rate of returns that wasn't selling in Motors was John. He had over 7%, and that surprised me. John, I don't think you mentioned exactly what categories are affected, what categories you're selling in. So if you happen to be watching, I'd like to know what you're selling in to get that many returns. It's got to be clothing, because that's another category prone to a lot of returns. Some of you may have noticed yesterday eBay had its seller check-in, and they signed up 3,400 people. That's how many people signed up to actually attend the event online, but only about a third of that actually attended. Now, I'm not sure why. This is highly unusual, folks. Highly unusual that only 1/3 of the people that signed up to attend would actually attend. I do not know what to base that on or what to attribute it to. I would like to know, for those of you guys who did attend, was there anything you gleaned from it? If so, comment below. Sales this week were meh. They weren't super busy. They weren't super slow. I did go at least once or twice for 24-hour periods with no sales, which always greatly concerns me. I've noticed when I run a sale using Markdown Manager, it always helps. When I engage in promoted listings, meaning 3 or 4% is my bid, that always helps. The only thing that ever gives me any trouble consistently is sending offers to watchers. And every week I come out here and I'll tell you a story of something that went wrong, and I'll tell you guys that I'm done with offers to watchers and I'm not sending them out again. And every week, cute Joey goes right back out and sends them. So what happened this week? I sent out offers to watchers. Guy responds to me who likes the price that I sent him. And he says to me, can I buy this now and pay you next week? Next week. No. Now, we're not talking big money. We're not talking $300 or $400 here. It really concerns me that there are so many people out there that don't have $30, $40, or even $50 on their debit or credit card. There's a lot of them, more than you would think. Unbelievable, man. But yeah, I just figured I would bounce that off you guys. Returns this week, yeah, I had a few, but I would say less than usual, only because it's been slower than usual. I think all e-commerce sites are slower than usual. I'm not putting this on eBay. Amazon's got the same issues. Etsy's got the same issues. So yeah, it's just, I think, this time of year. There's quite a few people in the Facebook groups that have been complaining that this is the time of year they are usually knocking them dead and making crazy money, and they're so slow this year. Well, I got to tell you something. I never do well in the fourth quarter. It's always my slowest quarter. So I really have no reason to complain right now. For those of you guys who were more attentive than others, you may have noticed how slow it looked in the new car dealership at the beginning of the video. I overheard some of the salesmen talking to each other, and they were complaining about how slow it was midweek. One person said to the other, I can't believe how slow it is today. And the other one said, well, maybe it's midweek and people don't have money to go out or this and that. But it was slow, okay? I have two quick stories I want to tell you. I'm not sure if I mentioned one of them last week. Actually, I did. I did mention the one. I wanted to update you on the guy that sent me a contact through the eBay contact system saying an item arrived damaged. Remember that? And I told him, no problem, send the item back. I'll give you a refund. But I also told you guys I didn't think he would send the item back because even the components of the item are worth serious coin, even if the item actually did arrive damaged. I said to you, I looked you in the eye and I said, I think he was fishing for a partial refund. And here it is, next Friday, I've heard nothing from him. I will bet my last dollar he's going to keep that. And he was indeed fishing for a partial refund. I don't do partial refunds. If somebody wants to return the entire item, sure, I'll give you a refund, but I don't do partial refunds. And those of you who do, who engage in that, I think you're doing yourself a disservice and a disservice to the community. The only time you should issue a partial refund is if you really screwed up, all right? If you didn't pack your item well, maybe it did arrive broken. Maybe it's your fault. Well then, hey, man up. But as a rule, it's not something I would suggest. Second thing, which kind of made me shake my head in disbelief, because this only just happened a few minutes ago, so I don't have screenshots. A guy wrote to me through the eBay contact system, and he says, I just bought these hubs from you the other day, and they arrived, and they're the wrong size. What are my options? What are my options? Well, I can think of two things. Number one, you could return them. You bought the wrong size, you didn't read the listing, or, if you don't want to, option number two, you could wear one of them as a fedora. Now, that's not what I said to him, because I haven't even answered him yet. I'm thinking about how I can word it and what verbiage I want to use. But I am absolutely mystified that he didn't just open a return request. He admitted he bought the wrong size, and the part that really makes me shake my head in disbelief, he sent me a best offer. I swear to Christ. The items were, let's say, $60 plus shipping. He sends me a best offer of $50 plus shipping. And I think that's a fair offer. And he said something like in the love notes section, would you please consider my offer? Or thank you for considering my offer. And I thought that was reasonable. I accepted his offer. Who actually would send out a best offer without checking their size first? I am chagrined by the whole thing. But guys, I'm running really late, so I really can't expound anymore. I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. I will see you next week right here on the Crazy New York Driver Show. I hope you make a ton of eBay sales. Rock on and peace.